Hello everyone. Angie here, coming on with day 9 of my 12 days of Christmas ephemera makes with you guys. I thought today we would make some journal dangles, and it's not a new thing by any means, but maybe that's something that you haven't thought about. Maybe it's something that you've never seen made from start to finish. I thought we'd make one together. They're very easy, but they're kind of I don't want to say complicated, but they can be a little time consuming, because you want really, in something like that, you really want detail, and you really want to take your time and make it special because it's on the outside of the journal, and you want it to just sparkle and shine and, you know, whatever effect you're going for. So it can be a little tedious, I guess I would say. So hopefully we can get one done together. Okay, here's the paper that we're going to use today, and I just randomly grabbed a 12 by 12 sheet of Christmas paper. As you can see, it's kind of not really Christmas. It's more like wintry, because it has snowflakes and a little winter wonderland sparkle, but it does say merry and bright, let it snow, so it's kind of Christmassy. It's really all I had to work with, other than if I were to use blank, like a red craft cardstock, and then have to try and decorate it. So just to simplify things, I just chose what I had. Okay, by any means, just I'm sure you probably have more to choose from than what I do. So just pick yourself a really pretty piece of scrapbook card paper. You want something sturdy. You don't want to use copyweight paper, because it's just too thin and it would just tear up on you. You want something sturdy. Okay, and get a nice decorative piece of paper, and all you need is a 6 by 6 square. So I made, this was a 12 by 12, so I made 2. I didn't want to waste the paper, and I'll cut down these 2. We'll at least get one made, and if we have time we can keep going on the second one. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is a 6 by 12. How's everybody today? I did not ask yet. I sure hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing good, just hectic and busy. It's that time of year, you know, but it's good. Busy is good. You know, busy people say, I'm gonna cut this here real quick. People like to, I guess, make you think that being busy is not a good thing. I think it's a good thing. You know, keeps your mind active, keeps you out of trouble. What is God says, idle hands is a devil's playground, right? So it's all in interpretation, how you look at it. So I think it's a good thing when you're busy. I know it can be overwhelming and a little stressful, but it's good. Okay, so now that we've got our 6 by 6 squares, we're just going to fold those in half, and then just decide how you want, if it's, you know, whatever your design, how you want it to go. Okay, so since our words, we're going to go this way to keep our words going straight. Not that you'll really be able to see them, but we just fold that in half. And once you see, you've got yourself a nice sturdy piece of paper. Okay, now you can make these bigger, or you can make them smaller. I just think 6 by 6 is a really good size. You get a nice big piece, but really you can alter it. You can use a 4 by 4, you could use an 8 by 8. I mean, just really whatever you want to do. And you'll see how big it is using a 6 by 6 piece of paper, how big your piece actually ends up being. Okay, you're going to need your X-Acto knife or a finger blade of some sort, whatever your choice of blades are. You can just freehand it if you want, but excuse me, fumble fingers. All we're going to do is cut up this card all the way up to about 1/4 to 1/2 inch from the folded line. Okay, and we're going to go all the way across. If you've got a good sturdy hand, just snip it all the way across, and we're going to do about 1/4 inch, maybe as much as maybe a 1/2 inch strips all the way across. Okay, I don't have a real steady hand, so my choice of cutting is I'm going to use my finger blade, and I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm just going to go like this. And normally what I would do is I would take a pencil and I would draw a line at 1/4 inch from the fold to give me a guide as to how far to cut. But since this silver line is already there for us, I'm going to use that as my guide. Okay, so this is going to take a couple moments, and we're just going to try and get somewhat same distance on each one. And usually I do, this is thick paper, so I'm going to have to do 2 cuts on each one. And always be careful. And we're just going to go across this paper, trying to keep our cuts somewhat straight. And this is how we make our fringe for our dangle. Okay, they don't have to be exact, so don't get yourself all stressed out about it. If one's a little bit thicker, oops, or one, see, and I just slipped talking and I'm trying to go too fast. That's okay, just keep on going. See, that one just kind of cut off. Probably won't even show anyway. You'll see what I mean as we go along. So let me slow down just a little bit, because it's easy to make a miscut. Might be just as easy for you to do the scissor method. Totally up to you. You're cutting through 2 pieces of paper, cardstock paper, so it's quite thick. And I made a couple off camera, and I'll show you those. The one just fell, and they're really fun to make. I mean, you can just get really into these and just doll them up just as much as you want. Oh, they're just so fun to make. Personalize them, especially if it's going to as a gift or going on a journal that you're selling or gifting someone. A nice dangle, handmade dangle that's been personalized for that person would be a beautiful, beautiful gift. Beautiful gift. Or someone that you know that enjoys journals, and maybe just gift them a dangle. Make them one that's, you know, use their favorite colors. Maybe something that, I don't know, you know, anything that would personalize that. I think that would make a beautiful, beautiful gift. And you can see I'm just going up to that line. We don't want to go all the way up. Almost there, guys. Just go all the way across. Scissor method would definitely be quicker, but I will destroy this piece of paper if I do it with the scissors. I really would. So I just do it this way. Almost done. We could probably get one more cut out of that. There we go. Okay, that's the most time-consuming part, the tedious part. Now the rest is just fun, because we're basically just putting the piece together and decorating. Okay, so then we got a little fringy bit like this. Isn't that cute? So now what you can do is you can use your bone folder, you could use the pencil, you can use your fingers, whatever you have as a tool we're going to kind of just break up the edge of this paper here. Okay, I just use my fingernail, but if you want to use a bone folder, and just kind of curve it and break up down the fibers a little bit on the paper so it's easier to work with. So just sit here for about 30 seconds and just kind of curl and curve, break the fibers down a little bit, just in that portion that we didn't cut. Okay, just work it a little bit, a few times. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to roll this piece, and it all starts, the key with this, a good dangle in my opinion, is the roll. Okay, and it all starts at the beginning. You want to get a tight curl as you can, and it is difficult. It can be challenging. Take your time, work with your fingers, work the paper, and get a small little fold right here on the edge. And I like to use a wet glue with this, okay? Preferably I use E6000, but for time's sake of the video, the E6000 is not going to dry in a sufficient amount of time for us in the time we have together on the video. So I'm going to be using a combination of art glitter glue and hot glue. Okay, not my best, not my favorite, but they will work. Whatever you want to use, you can use, okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to bring in my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the tip right here just to get me started. And then I'm going to change over to my hot glue gun, because that'll be quicker for our process. So let me plug in my glue gun, and that just takes a moment to get hot. And put a piece of paper underneath it. Okay, here we go. Now, like I said, you want to start with just the teeniest bit on the edge. Can you see that? And we're going to try our best to get a really small, tight curl. And can you see that? Use your fingernails. Get a nice, small, tight curl. And keep your edge lined up as you roll your piece of paper. Keep your edge straight, because it's going to want to curve on you, okay? Keep the edge straight. I'll put a little bit of more art glitter glue just to get me started until my glue gun gets hot. It should be ready in a minute. So just use whatever glue choice you want and start your rolling. And as you roll, the glue will kind of push out, and that's kind of what you, whoops. See, and it wants to slip too, so you got to kind of really keep a tight hold of it as you roll. Can you see that? And just roll and roll and roll. And hold it and pinch it as you go. Don't let it go, or you'll lose it. It'll unwind on you, okay? So I think that's enough right there, where I can continue with my hot glue now. And it looks like it's dripping out, so it's ready. So I'm just going to put a little pinch, just a small amount, okay? And I'm going to roll it. And keep in mind, I'm trying to keep my edge straight as I go. It's gonna want to unroll on you. If you have to back up a little bit, do that. There we go. Put a little more glue. And it doesn't take a lot. See, that rolls pretty good. That's one of my better rolls. That's one of my better ones. Okay. And onward. All right. Super glue is another good project, wet glue to use for this, but then again, it's very immediate. So just keep that in mind. I think E6000 for me is probably my favorite to use when I'm dealing with a project like this, and like beads and stuff like that. But we don't have a lot of time on our video segments, so and there we go. And just give that a hold for a second, and there we've got our little dangles. You can see it's nice and sturdy. And there we go, and that's our roll, nice and snug. That's just what we want. That's one of my better rolls, so that's good. That turned out really well. Okay, then from there you just want to kind of look at your paper and pull out some colors to accent the rest. I have some kind of a grayish, and I have some real pale blue, and I've got silver. And just go on that theme and just decorate it according to the colors in your paper, whatever, you know, whatever colors are in your paper. So I have a few bits here, I thought. Yeah. We don't need that. We definitely don't need that quarter, do we? Let's see. I've got a cute little Christmas bell. I thought maybe we can use that. And then I've got some green and I've got some red, just something for a little bit of color because this is kind of pale. And then you may want to use some bead caps, a couple bead caps. So I grabbed a couple bead caps, jump ring, just whatever you want to use. So now from here you need to get a needle. And I just thought about it. This is my smallest needle and I don't think it's going to go through all these beads. You want a thin needle so it'll go so you can feed your thread through your bead holes. I didn't think about that. I don't think I have a thinner needle. Let me take a look real quick. Nope, I don't. So that may be a challenge right off of the bat, but we're going to see what we can do. Okay, then you want to just get you some crochet trim. If you got the baker's twine, that would be good because it's already colored. And just, I don't measure, I just snip myself off a good piece, probably about 3 feet long. I always like to have more than I need because then you can always cut some off, but you can't add to it. So, all right, then what I like to do, I like to thread my needle, get the ends together, not tie it off, but just find the middle. And I like to have the loop at the top. Okay, totally up to you. So from there, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of use your finger, find the middle point in there if you can, and feed your needle through. Sometimes you can find the middle, see the middle right there, and sometimes it's a little harder. But if you can't find it, like I am having a problem right now, oh, I think I got it, right? And I didn't get, I could see the glue I could feel the glue isn't dried. Okay, so if that's the case, I can't find it, I'm gonna unwrap and I'm gonna take one end through at a time. I'm gonna go this direction. I'm just gonna hold it snug and I'm just gonna push it right down and then pull the needle through this way. Okay, then I'm gonna do the same again with the other end. So again, I will have my loop at the top. That's just my choice. Okay, so feed it through, and again, find the needle and pull that in through. Okay, then we can get our ends together, just like that. Okay, and that's way more than what we need, and that's fine. I mean, string isn't that expensive, so embroidery thread. So if you got a little extra, that's not a problem. All right, so I like to have a good 6-8 inches. I don't know, what is that? Maybe a little less than that too, for about 5 inches, just to work with on the top. Okay, and then I like to put something kind of big or kind of heavy, I should say, on the bottom. That's just my preference, and I call it like the weight ball. And I'll show you, I'll take a minute real quick and show you the other two that I made with the same paper. And this one I just put a nice big heavy bead there, and as you can see, okay, and I call that my weight bead. It kind of just dangles and holds the piece down because that's the heaviest part of the piece, so it's just kind of like your weight. So that's what I like to do, but that's a preference of yours. And then this one I did, and I just put a bead on the bottom. Okay, as you can see on this one, I just did a little bit of the accented on the blue and silver on this one, where this one I brought in some red, just a little pop of color. Okay, so those are the two that are already done. All right, so give yourself a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, I guess. And then we're gonna put our weight ball on the bottom. And I think we're just gonna use this little bell. I think that'll be nice, cheery and fun. And I thought I had another one. I do. A little teeny small one. Let's see if I can get both ends of this thread through. We can put them both. Because this bell's been sitting around my desk for a few days, looking for a home, so see if we can give him a home today. I could get one through, I just don't know if I could get both of them. And like I said, this is the tedious part, just kind of finding your bits and your pieces, what you want to put in there, and I can't get both threads in there, so this little baby doesn't get to get used today. Just finding the bits that you want to use. Then I usually let it dangle about 1/4 to 1/2 inch down below your paper piece. So I measure maybe about 1/2 inch, and then I tie it off. Okay, so I want it right about there. So I'm going to try my best to hold it in place so the string doesn't move, and I'm just going to tie it off. Okay, and of course knot it off 2 or 3 times. We'll go one more for safe measure. And snip it off. Okay, then you want to pull it back up, get it in position. How long you want it to be dangling down below your paper piece. And I like it about 1/2 inch. Okay, and then from there you're going to hold this in place. And this is where I like to use art glitter glue also, only because it's got the long nozzle. And you're going to pry in the middle with your finger and kind of find the middle. And you're just going to squirt just a little bit of glue down in there. Just a dab. Just to secure your thread. Okay, so that should be good, hopefully. And there's the start of our dangle. Isn't that cute? We've got a little jingle bell there. Okay, so then we just got to figure out what we want to put up here, what color combination, whether we want, what kind of beads we want to put. I grabbed a couple gold ones. I grabbed a whole bunch of silver just because there's more silver in the silver foil in the paper. And we're just going to feed it through and get a nice combination of beads. And I'm going to only be able to use the beads with the larger holes because I don't have a small enough needle. So that's going to have to play a big part. Now, my base piece, now we want to decorate this because this looks kind of not finished, right? So this is your choice here. You can use washi, you could use a strip of fabric, you can use ribbon, lace, trim, you can layer it, totally customizable, however you choose, guys. Okay, this one I used a little ruffled trim and I put a piece of ribbon around it. Isn't that cute? This one I used some flat Christmas ribbon and then I went around even that with a piece of red trim, like elastic kind of decorative trim. Okay, so really it's up to you. And I think I want to do, I'd like to make it a little bit different, but since we've got the red, I'm going to bring in this decorative trim, and we're just going to use this. Okay. And when I do that, I like to, when I put it down, I like to have it raised up a little bit. Do you see how I'm not putting it right at the edge like this. I'm bringing it up just a little. So then the very first bead that you put down there, you want it to be large enough so it kind of just nestles right in there for you, and it just sits and doesn't go anywhere. At least that's what I like to do. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do there. And I don't think I have a big enough bead. We'll see if that'll work. I might have to pull out some more beads. Okay, so for this I'm going to use a little glue gun just because it's faster. And I'm going to raise it up, push it in and up just a bit. And I'm going to hold it. Keep your string in the middle, out of the way. And we're going to work our glue all the way around. And take your time with this, guys. Just do a little at a time. Don't rush yourself. See, we're already almost out of time. I'm down to less than 15 minutes left with you guys, and we're not even done. I hate having a time clock, you know. It's wish we could just craft together and not have to worry about the time. Okay, and then we're going to snip it off. And this particular trim is kind of elastic nylon type thing, I think, and it tends to fray a little bit. Usually I will get my lighter and just burn the ends, but just for time's sake I'm going to use a little glue, and I'm going to press it down into the fibers right there at the end. It will dry clear just like that. And I'm going to try and hold it for a minute. Okay, and then I think that'll hold. Okay, so there's our start. Very nice, huh? So let's see if this bead is going to be big enough for me, because I like a nice good size one to nestle right down in there. And although it fits, it doesn't sit as well as like that one does, or that one. So I'm going to go to my beads and I'm going to get another larger one. Hold on just a second. Okay, I have to bring my containers in here. Okay, those are the smaller ones. So let's see what we have. Oh, these are hard to open. Guess we can just grab one of these large white ones, because I don't really have Christmassy colors. These are fun, decorative ones, but I don't know if we want black or wooden ones. That one's pretty. Kind of a pearl-esque, pearly pink, red. Oh, that yellow is gorgeous. Okay. It's not a video about looking at beads, are they? Okay, so let's see if we can feed this one through. And this is where if you want to use bead caps, you can do the bead caps as well, just for extra. See, that nestles in there much nicer. See that? I like that. So then we're going to do a dollop of glue. And we're just going to press that right. And when I do hot glue, I always give it a twist, just to kind of get an even setting on the hot glue. And hold. Just like that. Okay, and then we can do the other ones. Let's see how this looks. That's a pretty bead. Is that too large? And then you're going to have your glue strands that you have to deal with also. It's not too bad. I'm not going to be able to use these pretty ones because I'm not going to be able to get those through the hole. The hole's too small and I don't have a small enough needle dug on it. Didn't think about that. I'm gonna have to get to the store and buy some smaller needles. All my needles are large. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get those on there. Nope. So that limits, oh, that's pretty right there. That's a pretty combination. And then if you want, that's pretty right there, isn't it? What do you think? Is that enough? And see, like right there, I've got 4 beads. We've got 4 beads. We've got our dangle, and then we've got our little weight dangle piece there. So this is going to end up being about 6 inches in length by the time we're done. So see what I'm saying? Just a small piece of paper will do. You don't need it to be really huge, but if you want a bigger one, by all means, have at it. They're gorgeous and they're so fun to make. I got this little flower. Let's see if I can get that through, how that looks. Sorry, I didn't think about the needle size when I grabbed my beads. Yeah, I'm not gonna get that one through. Darn. I wonder if I could weed it through with my pin needle. I'll try once. If it doesn't work, I'll give it up. Ha ha, woo! We got it through. Look at that. I like it. Okay, we're gonna stop there. That's plenty. And I don't even need a bead cap, okay? But if you wanted to use some bead caps, you could. All right, so we'll just save those for another one. Another one. All righty. Then from there, all I like to do, and not specifically to, I like the freedom, the dangle part. You want to give it a little bit of play. You don't want to have them too tight or it could snap your string. But I do like the first one to be held down very well. So I will usually put a dollop of glue on in the nest, what I call the nest part here, and then the second bead. And then after that, I don't really worry about it too much. And I twist, and I get that to set in. So for me, that's your stability portion right here. That's your stability, okay? That's your strength. This is your weight. You got a little something for weight on the bottom. And then the other beads are just for, you know, the play. Have a little play in the string and have a little dangle and for it to be able to move freely, okay? Then from here, I try and get them all snug down as snugly as I can, and you're just gonna tie it off. That's all it is. You can use seed beads on this. Like I said, it would be more time consuming and more intricate in your timing, feeding those through the small seed beads. If you want more than one dangle through the middle, you want 2 or 3 so you can put more like a charmed effect and have more pieces dangling. All you got to do is feed more pieces through the middle portion. Totally possible, and you can do it. Now I'm just going to try and push this tie all the way as close to the edge and as I can, just like that. So again, you just want to take your time, and look how pretty. And I usually do it 2 or 3 times. And I've given myself more than enough room at the top, and I totally don't mind that because I never know how exactly I'm going to use it. So once I decide how I'm going to use it on my journal, then I can snip it off once I tie it on, or clip it on, whether I use a bulb clip, whether I use a jump ring, whether, you know, how I'm going to use it. So I always give myself extra. Okay, and I think that's good. It's not going anywhere. Look at that, guys. cute, 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 right? What do you think? I think it's adorable. They're so fun to make. You will, I'm serious, if you pull out your beads, some string, some pretty papers, you will be at your desk for hours making these things. Hours. I promise you, you're gonna love it. Here's the other one. And like I said, just make them as simple or as elaborate as you want. If you want to keep it a little bit less expensive rather than using all your expensive trims and your beads, use washi tape, use lace, maybe a thin lace you might have, you know, a little piece of thin lace you can put around there. Look at that, that would be cute. And then put something over the top of that. I buy this when it goes on sale, these long pieces to make dangles with. You can use some of this. You know, but these colors don't blend with the paper choice that we're using today, but look at that, that would look really cute around the, as a band around there, if you had the right color beads and the right color paper to match. So, just a couple more ideas for you guys, okay? Alrighty, well that is my make for today, guys. Just some handmade paper dangles. And then you would figure out how you're going to put them on your journal. Okay, so like I think I want to use this one just because it's got the bell. So what I would do is I would just sew it, bring it in. Let's see if we have time to do that. And I would just tie it right on to this top portion here. Or no, I think I left a string for that purpose too, didn't I? I did. So since I did that, all I need to do is put a jump ring on here, and that's going to take some time. We're only down to 5 minutes. I would just loop this jump ring right onto there, and then I would tie another loop, because we don't need that big loop now. See, now that I know where I'm going to put it. Okay, so I'm going to make a small loop right there, tie that off in a knot a couple times. Let's see, we might have time to get this one on. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight. Then I can snip that off. Okay. Then let's see if I can get this jump ring on here. So see, I have a knot between there and there. So right there gives me a little loop. Right there. Okay. So that's where I'm going to put my jump ring. I'm going to try and work this jump ring in here. I'm kind of fumble fingers it sometimes, guys, so we'll see if we can get this done on camera. And see, what I just thought about, I should have did this before I cut off my end, because then I'd have a little bit bigger piece to kind of work with. See, now I just have this little piece of thread that I'm trying to deal with. Might have to get my pliers out. Okay, stay put, guys. See? Come on, get in there. I can't get it, guys. I'm gonna have to do it off camera. It's just too tedious. I'm gonna have to go over, get my tools, and loop that on. Then I'm gonna have to loop it through. But I'm gonna take this jump ring, I'm gonna loop it through this loop, and then I'm gonna take the same jump ring, and I'm gonna loop it through this loop that I gave myself here, and it will dangle just like that. Isn't that cute? And then I gave myself some strings here, and I can do another dangle here. I can do some seed beads or tie some more beads in here that match this. Totally up to me. Okay? So I hope you like the make today, guys. Give it a try. Make some dangles, okay? May not be Christmas. Maybe you want to make them for Valentine's. Maybe you want to make them for Mother's Day. You know, there's a whole bunch of different things that are coming up in the future. Maybe you just want to make a random vintage one for a vintage journal that you're making. You might want to make a steampunked one. I just thought of that. I have, let me show you this. Oh, where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. But you can make the steampunked ones. Those Tim Holtz gears, the metal finding gears. Right here at the base, put one of those gears down. I have one made. Take me too long to find it. But put that down as the base and then build on that and bring in some metal findings. Those are really, really cool and a lot of fun as well. So really, whatever your imagination can come up with, that's how you make your dangle, guys. I think they're really, really cute. So I hope you like the make today. Thank you so very much for spending some time with me. I will see you for day 10. Take care and bye-bye. God bless.